Gay men of Reddit, what are your Grindr horror stories? Talked with a guy for a while who was a bit more rural and laid back. Think cute, skinny long hair, hippie, smoking type, hot bod, young. We decide to meet up, NSA, to smoke and mess around, and he was able to host. He gives me his location, about 30 minutes away, mentions he lives alone in his RV. Has plenty of pics of the RV and him. Seems legit, no problem, could be fun. I'm not judgmental and pretty open to the human experience, and besides, there wasn't many guys on at that time. This all happens at about 3 in the morning. I pull up to the GPS marker on the map and sure enough I see the RV pulled over into a large woodsy area off of the side of the road. As I get out of the car and walk toward his RV, the side door opens and his head pops out to greet me. Just his face peeking out around the door and him gesturing me over. I immediately start to feel a little hesitant, thinking maybe he had misrepresented himself and his body type or something. Why wouldn't he just walk outside and meet me? Is he ashamed of being big or something? Is he naked behind the door, like someone in a bathroom asking someone to grab them to pee? All the while he is continuing to gesture me over, saying, "Come here, dude." I turn on my flashlight app and start to walk more toward the side diagonally instead of directly toward the door, trying to get a better line of sight and see what's going on. And that's when I see another set of hands wrapped around the back of his neck from behind. I immediately run back to my car and note the hell out of there as I hear the RV door slam shut. After I pull out onto the road, I see the RV in the rear view mirror take off in the other direction. When I opened the app, after I got up, he was gone. Guy came over. Things started to heat up, and then he went flaccid, frozen, covered his face with his hands, beginning to hyperventilate. I asked what was wrong, and he said he couldn't do it because he knew God was watching and that he was committing a sin. I kind of chuckled thinking he was joking, but when he pulled his hands away, the look on his face was one of complete and utter hurt. I felt bad and ceased all pursuits of hooking up. I tried to talk to him and dive a little deeper about his thought process, but he collected himself a bit, put his clothes back on, and raced out of my apartment apologizing profusely but repeatedly just said God knew what was happening. I felt really bad for the guy. Of New York is creepy? Obviously not. But I think we can all agree there are vast stretches of the state that are depressing and down at the heel. Also, shut up, you New York geography snobs. The only thing more annoying than the people who misclassify upstate New York are the people who get mad about it. Basically any decent north or west of Albany is looking towards gay men. I had the hardest time explaining to her that gay men only date men. They don't just fuck only men. We also only date men. This woman at my last job was convinced I would sleep with her because gay men can't knock women up. Everyone knows that, so it's perfect for just fun. She called me a bigot when I wouldn't have sex with her, then told everyone I was gay for not fucking her when everyone already knew I was gay. She was special. I don't miss her. The guy asked me if I would let him have sex with my golden retriever. I was back from college for the summer and my parents were gone for the weekend. I meet someone on Grindr and invite him over, and the first thing he does when he walks into my house and sees my dog is ask if he was trained to mount people. I told him to fuck off and get the hell out of my house, and he called me a cock tease. My Grindr picture was a picture of my dog and I on a hike in the mountains, and apparently this guy interpreted that to mean that my dog and I were in a sexual relationship. How fucked up do you have to be to see a picture of a guy and his pet and assume that means that they have sex? I've never been so disgusted in my life. So, I should probably delete myself at the ranch with that horse then. Or not. This happened a few months back but still gives me shivers. At first the date was moving along rather well. A dinner, a movie, and finally we ended up at his place. We talked about our careers. I remember he said he was doing work for a concrete company. I mentioned I was going to school for mortuary sciences. He proceeded to ask me if I was ever scared to go on dates. I of course said no, but then he started asking pretty dark questions. What would happen if I died on this date? What would you do with my body? Would you hold me until the ambulance arrived? Can I use cement to bury a body? I pulled my pants up when he asked, wouldn't it be strange if you just disappeared tonight? Well, I'm going to disappear now, just not in the way you're thinking. Not particularly horrifying, but suitably harrowing at the time. An older guy hit me up looking for a good old midday session at his place. I arrive at the provided address with hair, makeup, and costume on to find a sprawling 5-bedroom dwelling along the river with a perfectly manicured yard and the whole 9 yards. I went up to the door and he invited me in. We proceeded to have a nice chat, and then he gave me a full set of diamond jewelry and a fur to wear while we did the deed. Whatever, I've obliged stranger requests, I thought. About 10 minutes in, we can hear the garage door open. Turns out, the power went out at his kid's school and the wife was out when she got the call to go collect them. He proceeds to give me hurried instructions on how to find an exit without being detected before going to occupy his family. In complete panic mode, I scurry out, leaving my shoes behind, and sprinting through the lawn in full high-haul drag with $2,000-4,000 worth of fetishistic accoutrements. I get in my car and drive off, not even thinking of the monetary value that I just made off with. Fortunately, I was able to go over later that night to return his stuff, and he let me keep the earrings for my trouble. Really nice guy, all things considered. I just imagine you instead of Jack Sparrow in that scene where he is running on the beach, away from the tribe. Captain Jack Sparrow. Guy messaged me and wanted to fuck. Sure, I'm down for it. He wasn't available until 1 AM and wanted to meet in a wooded area way outside the city. Yeah, I was just horny, not planning on getting murdered. Guy kicked me out of his apartment the moment he came, all the while murmuring how his girlfriend was gonna kill him if she found out. I went home blue-balled, drove across town for a hookup. I was horny, so I didn't mind when he tied up my hands. Then he proceeded to take off the condom. Good. Yeah, the following 3 months were the worst time for me. Pep aside, I was an emotional wreck. Fuck, I'm glad I'm out of the scene. Jesus. That is rape. I'm so sorry that happened to you. The condom one really hit me. I'm so sorry. That is a horrible situation and sexual assault. It should never happen to anyone. I'm so glad you were on PEP. Take care.